Good morning, Shaun. How's it going? You got your cup of coffee?
Yep, I'm on the third one today, man. I know we're a little bit later than usual, but we've been so dang busy closing deals, doing all the paperwork that's associated with that and reference checks. And so sometimes those things are more important, but we finally got a little break in our hectic day.
Right. I mean, that's what I was just going to mention. I mean, it's been crazy. I've been personally, and again, this is not saying anything, but I've been up working since 4:30 this morning. Why am I up working at 4:30 in the morning? Well, because we don't have as many daylight hours here in South Dakota. I like to get my work done so I can go enjoy some freedom out on the golf course. If you know what I'm saying, right, Shaun?
Yeah, man, totally.
Absolutely. So, but we really have been busy, man. We've got some great stories to tell. Even though it's a little bit late here in South Dakota for coffee, we call it coffee talk for a reason. So, Shaun, I mean, something I was thinking about today. I was just talking to a hiring authority about the difficulty that they are having right now with staffing, not just in the field. You know, the people doing the painting, the people doing the drywall hanging and the framing and stuff like that. That's one level of difficulty, but they're also having difficulty finding good, qualified project managers, estimators, even superintendents. I mean, why don't you talk about that a little bit about what you've seen? I mean, you've been in this industry for 6 years, going on you're in your seventh year right now. I mean, what is it unique about this time right now?
Yeah, I think we talk about it every week, man. I mean, there's always been the last 7 years I've been doing it, there's always been what I call a war for talent. With the exception, right when the pandemic hit in 2020, there was probably 4 or 5 months where it seemed like there was a war for people to find jobs. A lot of people were getting laid off, but honestly, that didn't even really last that long. And, you and I, we had a really good year last year. It was actually one of our best years despite the pandemic. But right now it is it's like that vice grip. It's like this vice grip is even stronger. It's even harder to find people. Like, it's always been hard to find good people in the industries that we work in. So I don't want to make it sound like this is super unique, because it really isn't. It's really not as unique as what people think it is. But what is unique about it is that it just seems like it's harder, right? It seems like, just from like a recruiting standpoint, it's harder to find people. And I don't necessarily know why that is. I think that some people are just holding on to what they have a little bit stronger. And there's just not a lot of people looking to make a change. And so, but people are always willing to make a change for the right opportunity at the same time. But it seems like the war for talent is, it's a bigger war now than what it has been in the last 6 years of recruiting for me. And I kind of like it that way. I like when it's hard to find good things. It's good if you're a good recruiter. And I think that's what, like, if I think back to like the last 6 or 7 years, like when I got into the industries that I work in, right now is where myself and you are the most valuable, because we've been working it for so long. So a lot of the people that John and I are placing are people that we've known for years, where these people are only working with us because we've been doing it for a while. And so relationships are huge, and working with recruiters like us who have established relationships with good candidates all over the country, that's where the value that we bring. There's a lot of recruiters that do what we do. There's a lot of them. They've been doing it for a year or 2 years, and that's fine. You got to start somewhere. But we've kind of got the longevity in the industry. We've built a lot of relationships, a lot of connections. And so, like, right now, like, I see myself, and John, I think you can speak to this, like, a lot of the value that I'm bringing to my clients are just people that I've known for years. You know what I mean?
Right. So I think you're right here. So I'm talking to the contractors, and there's no there's no bigger time right now, harder time right now to find good, qualified people. And there's probably lots of economic realities that we can point to,
Right.
but the reality is that we're right now in the last quarter of 2021. At this time last year, Shaun, we were riding we were on the going on the upside of the roller coaster. We were just stacking up people that were willing to make a change because they're coming right at the end of the pandemic. They were willing to
Yep.
make a change, and we were telling companies, man, that economic
Higher.
recovery is going to be straight up. It's going to be that V-shaped recovery, and all of a sudden, when it comes time that the doors open up in your area, it's going to be impossible to get good talent in the door. So I think one thing that we could say to companies right now is don't look at what's right in front of you right now. Don't wait to do that, because the war for talent is a real thing, and it takes a longer time to get somebody from point A to point B. It's not something that they're going to do immediately, because everybody is just still a little bit gun shy, I think, a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
From the company end, you've really got to be creative, and we've talked about this before, but it bears repeating. You've got to be really, really creative about what it is about your company. You need Shaun and myself to market your company, and you have to be able to communicate to us, and have to be able to communicate to a candidate what sets you apart and what makes your company unique and different culturally, and as far as the projects that you do, as far as the creative way in which you kind of build your job description. I mean, it's even down to the job description.
Yeah.
To motivate somebody to go from something that they're very, very good at doing, and they enjoy doing, but they're doing it with a stable company and they're used to it. There has to be something to kind of draw them away from a different to a different company that's better than what they have right now. One thing Shaun's talked about frequently is this idea that companies got to start getting more creative around how we structure our daily schedule. Maybe you might attract somebody by having a hybrid role where they can do work from home and in the office, kind of on a hybrid hybrid role. And of course, we all know, and I know I'm sick of it, Shaun. We're both sitting in the office right now. We love being in the office.
Yeah.
Okay? We love it. This is good. It gets us out of the house. It gets us into our office. We kind of bounce ideas off of each other. There's nothing better than being in the office.
Amen.
But for some people, having a hybrid role where they can communicate on some days via Zoom and other days they're in the office bouncing ideas off of each other. That's one thing that would be really, really attractive to them. Another thing that would be really, really attractive to a candidate is the ability to I don't know, kind of have a flexible schedule. But what I love about recruiting, Shaun, is that we're always working, but we always have the availability to be able to say, well, geez, it's 70 degrees outside right now and sunny, and there's no wind outside. We could go out golfing right now.
Right.
And just have that ability. Our work is never done, but we have that flexibility to be able to do it at 10 o'clock at night or at 4:30 in the morning. We have that flexibility to be able to do it at those times. So companies that have that creative ability to kind of build a culture that allows people to do their work in more creative ways is always going to have a leg up on the competition when it comes to attracting talent, and also, Shaun, when it comes to keeping talent as well.
Yeah. I mean, you're hitting a nail on the head, man. I mean, I think that it's, you got to think about it. You have these people who were pretty much forced to work from home for a period of time, depending on what part of the country you're in and a lot of circumstances surrounding that. But what I'm starting to see is now you have companies, and once again, if a company has a culture where you have to be in the office, that's fine. I get that. But what I'm talking to a lot of people right now where they've been so used to working from home or having this hybrid flexibility. Now, as things start to come around back to normal pre-COVID, companies are, pretty much, hey, we're back in the office operating. There's nothing wrong with that. But then you have these people, they've been working for a year and a half, either 100% remote or hybrid, and they've kind of got a taste of that flexibility, right? While at the same time doing their job. Not all the time. There's so many factors into it, but these people are kind of getting shell shocked. Man, I have to go back in the office 5 days a week, 8 or 9 hours a day. I don't want to do that, but I would go back in the office 3 days a week, and
well, shoot, Shaun, think about it. I mean, if some of these guys that we talk to on the coast, right? We're talking to them, East Coast, West Coast. Some of them have commutes of over an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. And just think about the effectiveness that another 3 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours would have if you're an estimator doing takeoffs. If you're actually doing takeoffs, how many more takeoffs you could do in that time period, as opposed to driving. I mean, when it comes to doing takeoffs, you're sitting in front of a screen. You're really not communicating with anybody, anyway. You're just doing those takeoffs, and you could be much more. A lot of these estimators, for example, could be a lot more effective at home.
I think it's a future of the workforce. It's not necessarily the future. It is here. Like, people want flexibility. People want to be able to work and also kind of do whatever their passions are. And whether it's good or bad, I don't really know. I just see that not just in like the construction world, but almost in any industry. People want the ability to work from home or work from wherever they can. And I think,
but Shaun, they also want the ability to have work-life balance, right?
Yeah.
So we're just talking to a candidate this morning that works a 60 to 70 hour week every single week, and on Saturday morning received an email, and was just an email basically bringing up work, something that I don't know what the whole details was, but it was enough that it kind of wrecked the weekend for this person that had already put in more than a full week. Then all of a sudden on Saturday and on Sunday, he's having to worry about work and worrying about taking care of something.
And you know what? And then the funny thing about that is, then an hour ago, we just got a text that he just accepted a job with a company that we put him into 2 weeks ago. And the candidate was a little shaky. He was a little not certain, but whatever, he's out there enjoying his time, kind of enjoying this vacation, and he's gone.
That's the thing.
They don't know that yet, but
that was the thing that kind of the straw that broke the camel's back.
The guy's on vacation. Let him enjoy his vacation. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what job seekers want. That's what candidates want. They want that flexibility. They don't want to be bombarded on their vacation time. They don't want to be micromanaged.
That's culture. And the thing is that this person was doing a good job for the company, and he's
been there for 7 or 8 years. I mean, if he was doing a bad job, they would have fired him a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's obviously doing a good job.
He's doing a good job. He's doing his job, and he's already working 60, 70, 80 hours a week sometimes. And then all of a sudden,
the other thing with him too is he's underpaid. I mean,
you got to invade a space on the weekend. So there's something to be said about culture, to keep your people or to attract people. You need to have that. Number two, you can't Mickey Mouse around. When you do have somebody that you're talking to, you can't just think about it and go through a long process, because they're not going to be there. They're not going to be available, because if they're good, they're going to be snatched up off the market. And when you come with an offer, you can't come with an offer that is weak. You got to come with your strongest. You got to come with your strongest offer. And you got to think about, Is it worth $5,000 to me? Is it worth $10,000 to me to lose this person? You know, over the scope of time, you gotta come with that. You gotta come with that best offer, so that the candidate doesn't have any choice but to accept. Here's the thing, though. What you really need is you need guys like myself and Shaun in your corner. You know, we're right now literally the reason that we're on at 10:30 in the morning Central Time, when we're normally on at 7 o'clock in the morning Central Time, is literally both of us just got off the phones and we're able to kind of do our coffee talk right now. Why were we just off the phones? Because here's the thing, we're doing work for companies right now all across the country. We've got a couple of really urgent, extremely urgent job opportunities where companies are literally over a barrel looking for the right person to plug in to that position. And I think about that fantastic prefabrication division that's being built outside of Philadelphia. That's a fantastic general management opportunity. I just talked about people calling me on Saturdays. It's my pleasure to receive calls on Saturdays. I don't mind these kind of calls. I got a call on Saturday from a client that I've been doing work for years that says, I need an estimator. They're outside of Boston. They need an estimator.
That's right. We got to hunt on that one because we have about 5 estimator needs there.
They urgently need an estimator. And again, talked to another one of my clients out in California and in Colorado. In Colorado, this guy called me up. Now we placed a person at this company probably about 8 or 9 months ago. It was right at the end of COVID, and they were urgently in need of a PM estimator in the drywall industry out in Denver. And this company called me up the other day and said, John, and actually they called me, they called you, they called me, they called you, and we're so busy.
I know that's the thing. We can't field all the calls we're getting. Like as we're on, this is no BS, John. As we're on this call right now, I just had a new company I've never even talked to in my career. And they just reached out via email looking for, a drywall estimator PM. I mean, but here's the thing. I'm more than willing to happy to talk to anybody, and I don't make promises to anybody because we are bombarded. But that's the way we want it. We're bombarded. Give us a little bit of time, and we'll do our dang best to fill your needs.
Well, here's the thing. You want us on your team.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not a commodity. Okay. In other words, we are by far not even close to the lowest cost of recruiters, the lowest price as far as the money that you're going to pay when we find you a qualified candidate. Okay. Our fee percentage is among the highest in the industry. I'll tell you that right now.
Yep.
Okay. We are not a commodity, but what we do bring to the table is, number one, professionalism. Number two, we bring connections. And number three, by far, here's the thing. We are going to bring you candidates. We're real recruiters. We're going to bring you candidates that nobody else knows about. Nobody else is going to be able to bring to you because of our connections. And we've got the horsepower. What do we have now, Shaun? I can't even keep count. I think it's around 500 recruiters nationwide.
Yep.
And we have a ton of them in the construction industry, and we have us in the specialty contracting industry. If you have a job that needs to be filled, you want the horsepower of GPAC behind you. And yes, right. when and if we are able to find that right candidate for you that you want to hire, it's going to be worth every penny that you pay us in the fees, because they're going to either save you money or they're going to make you money, and they're going to be able to come at a time when you most desperately need them.
Well, John, I'll say this too. And I mean, we understand this, we understand what our clients are looking for. And I know I probably mentioned this on our first coffee talk, but if you're looking for a metal framing drywall estimator or project manager, I'm not going to bring you a wood framing estimator PM.
Are you, okay? Or the one we saw today, from the client, a millwork. A millwork person.
Yeah. And so we know what our clients are looking for. We listen to them. But that's the thing, is that it doesn't matter if that's in drywall, paint, industrial coatings, or heavy civil. This is not really a too terribly difficult of for us. We just like to listen. We listen to what our clients look for. We take notes, and I don't care what industry that is in, but we have a very good understanding of what our clients are looking for. Almost no matter what, it doesn't even really matter what the industry is, right,
well,
John?
And we save them time, Shaun. We don't waste our time with bad candidates. I don't know. I mean,
if we get into life sciences and all that stuff, that's a little over my head. Like, I don't even want to mess with that, because there's a lot going on there.
But we'll get 1,000 applications in a month's time.
For sure. Yep.
We'll get 1,000 resumes. We'll go through 1,000 resumes in a month's time.
Yes.
Between myself and Shaun and the rest of our drywall team, we will go through literally 1,000 resumes, and literally, for people that are sending us resumes, literally maybe 1 out of 1,000 is a fit for a job within the 50 states. That's literally, but we take the time to go through those resumes. You don't have time to do that. You're building a business. You're trying to take over the world in your industry, in your area. You're trying to take over the world. Why in the world would you waste your time digging through a pile of resumes that are worthless? The people that I wouldn't hire to work at Burger King, quite frankly. Okay. So you don't want to waste your time doing that. So what you want to do is you want to hire a recruiter to do that for you. And you also want to hire a recruiter to go through those resumes and find that piece of gold, that gold nugget of a good, solid candidate. And even better, you want a recruiter like ourselves that are willing to pick up the phone and go and contact people that are currently working, that have a proven background, a proven track record, that might make a change for something better. And like Shaun said earlier, we have hundreds of contacts that we have kept through the years that we can always pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, we've got this opportunity. Does this sound like something that you'd be willing to have a conversation about? We don't have a magic drawer like a lot of people think. What do you recruiters do? What do you really do? Well, what we really do is we do all the background work and all the labor intensive work it takes to find that one good candidate that's going to be a fit for your position. That's what we do. That's the value that we bring.
Yeah. There's really nothing even for me to add on to that. It's not it's not really complex what we do. The part that is difficult about it is most companies don't have the time or the resources to do what we do on a full-time basis, because they're busy running their companies. They're busy with estimating and project management. And we're busy hunting for candidates, and it's nonstop. And
the thing is, Shaun, is that we do it for free.
Until we do it for fun. I do it for fun. It's fun,
it's
like volunteer work until we find somebody. It's actually volunteer work until we find somebody.
Yeah, we volunteer. We volunteer our time, because there's no guarantee that these people that we're searching on and hunting on and talking to are going to be a fit for anybody So that's the other value that we bring. You're not paying us on an hourly basis. You're not paying an HR generalist to go out and hunt on your jobs. You're not paying somebody. You're not giving them, workman's compensation. You're not giving them health insurance. You're not giving them paid time off. You're not paying them a salary. You're not paying us anything. We are experts at what we do. We go out and hunt for these folks. And if we find you somebody that's a good fit, then and only then, after you've interviewed them and you've decided to hire them, then and only then do you pay us anything. What better deal is what? I don't know. Talking about, Shaun, we must be insane, but that's
that'd be like
we are a little bit crazy.
That'd be like me going to, let's say, Texas Roadhouse, okay, and maybe I want to test try all of the food there, okay, or all of their, I want to try the T-bone. What other cuts of steaks are there? You got the T-bone, the ribeye, the filet mignon, right? I could order all of these steaks, and I could test drive. If I don't like any of them, I don't even have to pay for it. Right now,
Right.
if I pick, maybe I want the filet mignon, medium rare. I know you like it rare. And only then, it'd be like me going to a restaurant, test trying a bunch of food to see if I even like it. If I don't like it, then I don't have to pay for it. That's the kind of the way I look at our process, is that there's no commitment until you decide you want to hire somebody and that they're going to be a good fit and worth the fee. So it's, but here's the thing, man. Like, and John, I can't even really think of the last time a company has made a complaint about the fee after they hire somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's just, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer that you're only paying for somebody that you feel like is worth the fee. And I mean, I'm not even just saying this tongue in cheek. I can't think of when I had a client who hired somebody from me complain about the fee, because they realize how difficult it is. They realize that, hey, these guys actually produced and found somebody, maybe not a perfect fit, but pretty darn close, or, that this person at least has some of the skill set that we're looking for. So it's really not even a big deal long term.
Well, and that's the thing, Shaun. We try to hit the cover off the ball and get the perfect candidate in there. Has there ever been a perfect candidate? Well, probably not at the beginning, not at the point of hire, but they were good enough. But what we do try to do is we do try to find somebody with a proven track record, somebody with a decent longevity, right? In the drywall industry, in the paint industry, that's kind of a funny joke. It's very rare to find anybody that great.
I know, it's just the nature of it.
It's just the nature of the game. But we always try to bring somebody with the right skill set, the right hard skill set, and a cultural fit for the company. But here's the thing: we source the candidate and we bring them to you.
Right.
You still are fully in control. You get to interview them. You get to do background checks. You get to do, you get to walk them through your office and even have them for estimators or project managers, even have them do a takeoff or a test or whatever. You get to do all those things. Then you decide, once you've done through your process, you want to hire that person. Then and only then do we talk about a fee. But you get to,
right.
Just like Shaun said, you get the whole buffet. And you don't even have to pay until you like something.
Snap!
Doesn't it just blow your mind?
Mic drop. You get the whole buffet before you even have to pay.
Hey, I'm putting that on my next marketing campaign,
dude. Okay? That is so good, man. That is so good.
So no, that's exactly what we do, Shaun. And the thing is that,
hey, I started with the, kind of the idea of the buffet thing, and I put that idea out there, and you actually brought it to fruition. So great, kudos to us.
That's the way our team works, though. And see, who would you rather have marketing your company on a full-time basis? And here's the thing: we're marketing your company to potential candidates.
Yep.
On a full-time basis, and we're doing it for free.
Right.
Unless you hire somebody. So my recommendation, if you really want to have the number one drywall recruiting team, the number one specialty recruiting team in the country, if you really want us to be kind of quote unquote on your payroll, so to speak, you can always reach out to us. You got Shaun's number there, 605-809-8512. You've got my number here now, 605-277-3729. We're coming to an end of our coffee talk, and we want to leave you.
You didn't even drink any coffee, man. You got to take a sip of coffee.
I've been drinking coffee all morning.
No, but I need to see you drink coffee right now. You can't do coffee talk and not drink. You've been talking too dang much. See, there you go. I took at least 3 or 4 swigs of it.
So anyway, this last minute, I'm just going to give my closing thought. Then Shaun, you give a closing thought. We'll say goodbye.
Peace.
Right now, this is the last quarter of the year. Right now is the time that you need to start planning for next year. Right now is the time that you've got the budget. Right now is the time that you've got the jobs lined up. Right now is the time to add to your company somebody that's going to really bring the hurt. They're going to save you money. They're going to make you money. Let us start hunting for you right now. Don't wait until the time when you need somebody. It's right now. Let us do the hunting for you. Paint us a picture of what you need, and we will get out there and we'll find that person for you. Shaun?
Yeah, I guess my closing thoughts are this. Whether you get a candidate through us or through other means, if that person could potentially be a good fit, hire them, try it out. I mean, and I say that in a way that it is so dang hard to find good people right now. And I've got companies that I told them back, last year, hire these people, because by the time 2021 comes around, they're not going to be around. I've got companies all over the country that, we're unsure, and I get it. But now they're kicking, now I've got, now they're kind of just like, man, we should have hired. I had 2 good candidates for this company in Chicago, and they're like, man, are those guys still available? Nope. We placed them elsewhere. Another company, was a little bit more forward thinking and a little bit more optimistic, and they got both of them on board. So I don't know. I mean, I just like talking. I don't really have anything to say except, if you're interested in talking to us, or
you don't often have anything to say.
We can bull crap. We can talk whatever. If you just want to pick up the phone and call us, you know what? We'll have a conversation.
Well,
it's hard to follow you up, man. I should have started with my closing statements, and then you know what I mean? It's hard to follow a legend up like you.
Well, don't let the gray beard fool you. There's one senior recruiter in here, and it ain't me. It's the guy. It's the opposite way. The guy over there. So
we'll get you
we
there.
didn't talk much about candidates, Shaun, but here's one more thing. If you have a marketable skill set, listen, you want to network with us, okay? Doesn't mean you're looking for a job, doesn't mean you want to go anywhere, but if you've got a background in any specialty contracting field, you want to follow us on LinkedIn, you want to follow myself, John Chisholm, you want to follow Shaun Bone on LinkedIn. We've always got good updates. We've always got good potential fits. Shaun's obviously got another call coming in right now.
Oh, wow. Look at this. The phone's ringing. This is Shaun.
Right. We're
you need a drywall estimator? Yeah, I can help you out.